everyone, welcome to another Pals and Paws live webinar. Today we're going to be making cat fleece pom poms. So here's a finished one, and all you really need is some fleece. I got some extra over here for the cats to use as a bed later, but I cut out a nice long sheet here and some scissors to cut out your strips. You can use a ruler if you'd like to make sure it's more accurate, but the cats are not picky, so don't worry about that. However, I wanted to make a quick important note. Always make sure when you're making cat toys to use fleece. That's because yarn, while it might be fun and the cats might enjoy playing with it, it's actually not safe to use because it easily pulls apart. Like if you take a look here, I can easily, with no effort, just pull apart the strings with my fingers. So not only does that happen when the animals are chewing it, but if they swallow any yarn, it starts to break apart in their digestive system and can be really bad. So we never want to use yarn when making cat toys because it'll end up in our cat's stomachs and cause some issues. Whereas fleece does not break apart like yarn does. I can pull really hard. It doesn't like to come apart at the ends like yarn, so it'll hold together and it's washable. So overall, it's just a better option for making homemade cat toys. And you can tell Cooper already is very interested in our little fleece pom pom here. But Roman looks like he might enjoy one, so I'll try to make him one here. So you're gonna lay out some fleece, and you really just want the strips that will go inside the pom-pom to be about 1 inch thick by 4 inches, or 5 inches if you want it to be a little longer. So you're just going to cut strips about that large. So here's one strip. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I have at least 20. I know that sounds like a lot, but you want a lot so that when you tie it together, it creates that pom-pom effect. If you only do a couple of strips, it won't be enough to give it that nice ball of fluff look. And like I said, you don't have to be perfect. The cats usually are not picky about their toys. We're just going to keep cutting strips, and after you've made your toy, some fun things to do would be to add catnip. You can sprinkle catnip on there if your cat enjoys catnip. That'll make it more enticing. Also fish food. Some cats are intrigued by fish food. That works very similar to catnip, or a catnip spray. There are lots of options if you want to make it a little extra fun. And once again, that's why we use fleece, because it's washable, it's not going to break apart. I'm just going to keep cutting strips for a little while. And be careful when you're cutting fleece, sometimes it can get caught, so just make sure you're paying attention, being careful, taking your time. I'll cut a few more. Cooper, you want to help? He's excited to see what his toy is going to look like. So, let's see. I think I'm going to cut just 2 more, and that should be about good. So after you've cut all of your small fleece strips, what you want to do is cut a much longer one, because this way you'll have something to hang on to bounce it up and down and make it lots of fun for the cat to play with. Or if you'd like, you can tie it to a dowel rod and use it as a wand toy. But that's why you want your last strip to be much longer, because you're going to use it to tie all of the other strips together. So I'm going to just make a nice clean break here. And extra fleece can be used for lots of other things, making more toys, blankets. So never throw away fleece. It might come in handy. Let's see. For the last strip, I want it to be fairly long, maybe even almost a foot long. So I'm going to pretty much cut that entire strip right there. Let's see. But once again, it only needs to be about an inch thick. So now I have my longer piece, and I'm going to lay out all of the shorter pieces on top of each other. Actually, I think I might cut an even longer piece because it's about the same size as my shorter pieces. So let's see. So I want it to have some extra length at the end so I can use it as a little wand toy if I want. That looks much better. Now it'll be nice and long. But I want to tie it closer to one of the ends so that way I'll have all of this extra to hang on to when I play with it. So keep piling your short strips perpendicular, so crisscross, over your long strip. Once you have that done, you're simply going to tie a really, really tight knot. Like really, really tight. So do one regular knot. Make it super tight. Tie it again. It can be confusing since you have so many strips of fleece in there. Try to go slow so you can keep them all straight. And if you have some excess on the end here, that's fine. It'll just blend into the pom-pom, which is nice. And I'm actually going to do 3 knots. That way I know this is not going to come undone no matter how hard Cooper or any of the other cats play with it. And then you just want to kind of fluff up the pom-pom here. Get the strips to spread apart so that it gives more of that circular shape. But now it's a nice little toy that you can play with your cat and keep any extra fleece if you'd like for a blanket or another toy. I think Cooper might be ready to take a nap because, you know, he helped us a lot. He did a lot of hard work just now. So he might not be in a playing mood right now, but you never know who might enjoy a little pom-pom toy like Puma over here. And if I'd like, I can attach it to my dowel rod. Create a wand toy. Or if I'm going to be leaving soon and I'd like to leave my cat something to have fun with. Let's say I'm running to do some errands or a task in the other room. I can just leave this hanging here for the cat to enjoy. But it's always good to make sure that you're checking in on animals while they're playing. You always want to supervise just for safety. But this is just a nice little easy thing to make for any cat in your home. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.